There are lots and lots of CSS properties we can use to change the look of our text and fonts in our web page. Let's run through the most common. We already looked at font family in the last video. This sets the font we want to show. However, just stating the font family that we've imported probably isn't going to be enough in case for some reason it doesn't actually import. We should set a backup font, preferably a system font. You can find a list of common system fonts online. In this case, I'm going to choose Arial, and also a generic family name. There's a list of these for the font family declaration. In our case, we want sans serif, but there are other keywords we can use here, like serif or cursive. This means if the computer can't find Hebo or Arial, it will use its default sans serif font. As well as setting the font family, we can change the color of the text. For this, we just use the color property and specify a color value. Font size can be changed with the font size property. Here I'm going to use a new unit we haven't seen before. I'm going to use REM or REM. This is a common font size unit that we use. I'll be talking more about units in the next chapter. We can change the font weight, so we can make the font bold. You can also put a number in here, like 100, 200, through to 900. There's font style, which we can use to make our font italic. We can change the line height of our text blocks. This is the gap in between the lines of text. We don't put a unit value in here, we just add a number, as it will take on the unit that we have declared for the font size. Somewhere between 1.3 and 1.8 is recommended for readability. As well as these font stylings, there's text styling as well. We can have text decoration. If we want to remove the underlined text that we get by default on links, we can set text decoration to none. We can align the text with text align. By default, it's set to left, but we can set it to right or in the center. Or we can justify it. There's a text transform property, which means we can set all our text to either uppercase or lowercase. Or then there's capitalize. Be careful when using this property, as it does have accessibility concerns. We can change the spacing within our text blocks as well. There's letter spacing, which changes the spacing in between the letters. We can make it bigger, we can make it smaller. And then there's word spacing as well, which does the same thing, but within the words. One thing to note about these properties is they cascade down through the elements within our HTML, unlike other properties which only affect the element that we're adding to them. As you can see here, I'm adding them to the article, and it's affecting both the header and the paragraphs within this article. If I change the selector to body, it will affect all the text on our page. This can be very handy when we're setting the font styles within our design.